Fight on, men and women of blue and white, fight on with all your very might. Horseheads high is our battle cry. Fight, horseheads, fight. Keep up the courage to keep goals in sight. Fight, horseheads, fight. For a horizon that is right. Keep fighting, old, white, and blue. She'll ever walk a path that's straight and true. Raise your head up to the sky for horseheads high. With a final score of 20-13, My Horseheads Blue Raiders went up to Union-Endicott and we beat them. Yes! Oh man, I was legitimately nervous for this game. I really was. Considering that the last two meetings we've had with Union-Endicott, they beat us, we got them back. And provided next Saturday, actually it should be next Friday, this upcoming Friday goes as planned, we've got home field advantage in the playoffs. I am so pumped right now. Okay, let me grab my chair. There we go. Here we go. There we go. So, I don't necessarily do this that often, but no, because normally I would give the Blue Hammer Award to one player on the team. Well, I didn't. Well, I'll tell you why. But I wasn't at the game. One of the reasons why I wasn't at the game last night was all the way in Endicott, and it's a bit of a drive for me. But also, there was something very important going on last night, and I couldn't go. With that said, the Blue Hammer Award goes to the entire team. I mean, this had to have been one group effort to get everything done right. I mean, I'm sure that the actual coach has some idea who the MVP of the game was. But, I mean, to put things into perspective, it has to have been at least 3 or 4 years since we went up to Union-Endicott to their place and beat them. We certainly didn't do that back when I was there. So, yeah, this had to have been something special. How great would it have been if it was on their homecoming night, too? Oh, I hope it was their homecoming night. They would schedule us on their homecoming night, too. They did that before. So, yeah. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, with a score like 20-13, you absolutely have to, obviously everything didn't go perfectly. I'm sure it was a valiant effort from both sides. It's just Horseheads won at the very end. So, yeah. Actually, hold on. The 7th Blue Hammer Award goes to the entirety of the Horseheads Blue Raiders football team. Because you went up to UE and you dropped the hammer on them. That's amazing. Now, as of right now, I feel good. Actually, let me get to my. Well, here's the thing. Before I continue, let me do my low, my high, my act of kindness. My low is for whatever reason, I have kind of a stiffness right on my left side, my right side of my back. I don't know why, but I think maybe it's a virus or something. Because sometimes I get for whatever reason, I get a virus right in my back area. Usually it's lower near my coccyx, but and you don't laugh. That is, your coccyx is your tailbone. Okay? It's spelled COCCYX. Okay? Don't you laugh at that. That's a legit anatomical term. Okay? So, Yeah. So, bit of stiffness in my back. I can say that my high last night was Horseheads winning, but straight up, there was a very important thing going on last night, which I will get into in a minute. And my act of kindness was... Actually, part of my act of kindness was the fact I helped set up last night in general. So before I get into that, let me finish talking about, Horseheads winning. The fact that Horseheads beat UE at UE, it gives me some hope. Because we're capable of going there and beating them. Question is, can we do it again at our place? Because last time we beat UE at our place was our homecoming in 2021, and then we lost to them in the sectional title game. I believe we can. I mean, here's the thing. If Horseheads cleans up whatever they did wrong last night, they can do it. But before we get to that, we have to get to next week and the following week, because next week is also a very important game. Not only because it's Horseheads senior night, but they're playing Vestal, which if Horseheads beats Vestal, they have home field advantage in the playoffs. Specifically since it's only Horseheads, Vestal, and Union-Endicott, or UE as we call them. Like, whoever wins gets a first round bye. And then the next game is going to be the sectional title game. So, needless to say, it's imperative that Horseheads beats Vestal this upcoming Friday, which it is possible they can do. Now, the week after that, though, is a game that actually does scare me. Because even though it's not a division game or a league game, at least in terms of determining who gets home field advantage in the playoffs, Horseheads is playing Corning at Corning. 2 weeks from now, I mean. So next week it's Vestal, following week it's Corning at Corning. Now, listen, Corning's got our number for like a lot of years. I mean, we did beat them a couple of years ago, which was awesome. At Corning, no less. Although it does remind me, chances are this is going to be Corning's senior night. So, if Horseheads wins out the rest of the season, I'll have high hopes going in. But it's not like it's going to be easy either. I mean, Vestal's going to play Horseheads tough. And with Corning, listen, of all the times I've seen Corning football all throughout my life, they're masters of misdirection. Like, there's a reason why their run game is so incredible. And that's because I can never find where the ball is. Like, I'm legit looking at the ball getting height, and I immediately lose it. I don't even blink, and I lose sight of the ball. It's crazy. But, yes, Horseheads won last night. This Blue Hammer Award goes to all y'all. You got it. You got it done. And, yeah. All that's left to do now is talk about what happened last night. And, full disclosure, my grandparents' 71st wedding anniversary was on Tuesday. But we wanted to plan a time to go out and celebrate. So, my mom's original plan was having a family get together on Sunday and, celebrating, their anniversary then at my parents' place. We wound up going to Liv's. We seriously wound up going to Liv's. I'm like, really? You guys want to go to Liv's? I mean, listen, I am never going to say no to Liv's. Like, quite literally any person I've ever talked to in the entirety of the 607 about libs, the general consensus is they've never had a bad meal there. Nor have I. And, I mean, listen, my grandparents have been married for 71 years now. Like, every day with them is a gift at this point. But 71 years of marriage? Yeah, I would say libs is the best way to do it. I mean, full disclosure, right now they're both 89. So, theoretically, they could actually make it to 80. They'd be 98 years old. But they could. I mean, look. Listen, there was a bit of a scare. In case any of you guys don't remember, there was a bit of a scare last year with my grandfather. I mean, it was really nothing that a pacemaker couldn't fix, but it was still a bit of a scare. So, you know, it's not like I'm expecting them to live forever. I'm not naive enough to believe we all live forever. But, you know, as long as possible would be absolutely ideal. And if they make it to 80 years of marriage, you know, that's fantastic. That's absolutely amazing. Of course I'd want that. But I'm also real enough to know that it's not necessarily a possibility. It could happen. So, I'm cautiously optimistic. But I'm also relegated to the fact, okay, should either one of them ever pass, of course I'm going to be sad, but, you know, do you mind, like, I'm clearly in my 30s, and they're still alive. I can genuinely tell you that I've known them for a long time. For an incredibly long part of my life. In fact, I just mentioned this the other day when I did that thing about my late grandfather on my mom's side. Like, actually, have I shared this story before? I probably have. But after I ran my first marathon back in 2014, my grandfather he was actually at Savona, he was at Painted Post, and he was there to see me finish at the finish line. And I sent him a thank you note for, you know, doing what he did. And this is back when I lived with my parents, obviously. He leaves a message on my parents' phone. And he says, I hope to be there all the days of your life. You know, my grandfather was in my life for 10,981 days. Both of my grandparents on my father's side, because that's who we celebrate their anniversary for, like, they've been around much longer than that. So, I'm not going to complain one way or the other. So, I mean, the fact we got to celebrate it, you know, at all is a gift. Having it happen at Libs, I mean, what could possibly be better? It's Libs. It's the best of the 607. And if you don't believe me, then consider the following. Each year in this area, okay, in the Twin Tiers, that's pretty much the 607, the Twin Tiers. There is a vote for the best of the Twin Tiers, right? The sort of event that goes on each year. Every single category that Libs is entered in, it wins. Enough said. Like, that ain't me doing any voting. No. Actually, I'll be honest, I never really vote because I never really quite know how the voting process of that works. But the point is, like, that's not me. I didn't vote that. Everybody else did. I mean, listen, how many times have I talked about Libs in these videos? They don't need a vote from me. me talking about them enough and getting that exposure out for you all to see on the internet, that's arguably worth more than any vote, okay? So, they don't need me to vote for them. They have my support no matter what. I mean, it's more than just the good food, too. It's also the good men and women who work there. They are the backbone of that place. They are the reason why every experience at Libs is always as good as it is, and last night was no different. You know, the staff is always friendly, accommodating, you know, they're down to earth, they're warm, they're nice people, which is what you need if you want to have a restaurant as good as Libs is. I mentioned this when I talked about Sorges the other day, but it's pretty obvious. I've seen a lot of pretty decent places come and go. There's a reason why you have places like Sorges or Libs or any of the places up at Cuca Lake, and they last as long as they still have, because they know what they're doing. They know that what they have isn't broken, so they know better than to try and fix it. And I mean, listen, Libs was established back in 1954. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be 70 years next year. Well, the point is, Libs has lasted almost 70 years. I've got a very strong suspicion that it's going to be another 70 more. So, yeah. So again, congratulations to the Horseheads Blue Raiders for beating UE at UE. That's awesome. You know, I'm so happy for you guys. You know, my grandparents are never going to watch this, but, you know, and the odd chance that, I mean, listen, of course I love my grandmother or grandfather. Why else would, you know, I mean, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't go to the length to say that every day with them is a gift if I didn't love them, okay? So, that goes without saying. And to the good men and women who work at Libs, you know who you are. You don't need any, really you don't need any more validation from me, but I'm always happy to give you some. So, yeah. And you know what? I just realized something. Yesterday was Friday the 13th. I made a huge spiel yesterday about, how Friday the 13th is a notoriously unlucky day for some people. Let's see. Horseheads beat UE. Oh, it was probably unlucky for UE. My grandparents celebrated 71 years of marriage. They did it at Libs. I can't recall a better Friday the 13th in my entire life. This is the best Friday the 13th ever. I hope y'all like this video. If you did like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow me on social media. As always, I am very humble in this video for all of you guys who watch Jordan. And have a wonderful Saturday. Oh, happy Saturday, everyone. And remember, if you guys want to talk channels, we'll be here to lend you all back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.